Hello, seventh graders, and welcome to week 8 of remote learning. This is the last week for new content for remote learning for the year. Next week, although technically we are still in school, there will not be any new content. It is meant for you to catch up if anyone has stuff that they did not finish or is missing from previous weeks. It's a chance to catch up. It's also a chance for teachers to catch up on their grading, which I'll talk about here in a moment, and to make our final grades for the fourth quarter so that report cards come out on time as normal as well. Office hours will still be in effect this week and next week, so I will still be there even though there won't be new work next week. I will still have my office hours for you to come see me if you have any questions, if you're working on stuff, or whatever it might be. So let's talk about this video. So this one's going to be pretty quick because this week it's all about your seventh grade unit project or your legacy project, which is cross-curricular, which in other words means it's one project that you're doing that ties in things from all kinds of different subjects. So last week you started this, and for one of the days last week for my class, I wanted you to complete your science slide, and you had those other class slides to finish, and then you posted it through Mr. Holman. This week, if you haven't gone over there yet already, Mr. Holman has a video again with me and some of the other teachers explaining what part 2 is. Part 2 is harder, or is going to require more effort, I guess I should say. I don't know if it's harder, but it's going to require more effort than last week's. And so it's a really cool opportunity to spend some time to make what I consider a chance to make an awesome legacy project, because this is unlike most school years. And I think it's going to be important for you to have something that you can always go back to and look at to kind of remind yourself of what it was like to live through this time. So let's really quick go through and talk about that. I'm going to show you my remote learning doc because I still, with the seventh grade teachers, we kind of spaced it out to show you what you should be doing each day. And then we'll just finish with a quick closure and a goodbye for the end of the year, since this will be my last video. All right, so let's take a look at that remote learning doc. So for the remote learning doc here for this week, as you notice, there is just one thing that is going to be graded, and it is your legacy project for part 2. It's going to be 20 points. Last week for just completing your science slide, it was 10 points. This week it's 20 points. So in general, over the 2 weeks, that project was 30 points possible just in science. And like I said here on the doc, because this is for multiple classes, you're going to be getting grades for this project in each class. Even though it's one project that you're doing and you're posting it in one place through the way that you've been doing stuff with Mr. Holman, we all are going to have access to that to be able to look at your work and to go through and to grade it as well. All right, so let's look at the breakdown. So on Monday, hopefully you're watching, well, obviously you would be, otherwise you wouldn't hear me right now. You're watching video week number 8. And then just like normal for me, Monday is more about planning, right? And so you're going to be thinking about your project, making a plan, how you're going to present the project. And when we say present, it doesn't mean in front of people, but like you're going to be doing a bunch of different things, and then you're going to have to figure out one final product to put this all in. And that's what we mean by how you're going to present it. So what are you going to use to get for that to present your project? It says review resources below, but I don't have the resources there. They're on Mr. Holman's doc. So you're going to review the resources, talk to your family about the project, get some of their ideas, because there are opportunities to get them involved too, to kind of document history. All right, so that's Monday. The rest of it is repeated each day. There are 4 different categories that will be on Mr. Holman's doc. And so the idea for you, the easiest way to break it down is each day pick one of those categories. It doesn't matter the order. Just pick one of those categories and complete it. And we're saying that altogether you should be spending an hour and a half working on this daily. So that does not mean an hour and a half just for science. So there's no other work this week. So for an hour and a half, you're just working on that. Okay? And you try to finish that category in an hour and a half. Then you do it on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, picking new categories each day, spending just a total of an hour and a half to finish this, okay? So an hour and a half for pretty much all of your work for your core classes is not bad, right? That's not bad at all. So that should be totally manageable for you, but yet still enough time to make some awesome work. So that's it for me for our work for this week. Let's go through and I want to talk a little bit about grading and then a quick goodbye here at the end. All right, guys. So in terms of grading, you'll notice that some of the bigger things I still have not gotten through all of them to grade. It's just it's hard for me to get chunks during the day, to be honest with you, with the schedule here at my house with baby Owen and my wife working full time and things like that. So it's easier for me to get some of the quick things graded. The longer things like some of the projects and extra credit, I'm getting to. So let's talk about that for a second. Because this is the last week of work, okay, I'm going to be able to work through stuff this week. And then next week, even though you're not doing anything new, you might get messages back from me through Google Classroom that's telling you that things were graded and finished and that they were entered into Infinite Campus, because that's going to give me a chance to really kind of catch up and get everything done. So even if you don't see everything still in there by the end of this week, by the end of next week, which is technically the end of the school year, everything will be in there. Okay, everything will be in there. Everything that you guys have been turning in, I've at least made a category for in Infinite Campus. And if you didn't turn it in, it's marked missing. So even though it might be blank right now, that doesn't mean it's missing unless it says that it's missing. And I'm doing that just for people that are missing work so they can understand that is missing, that they didn't do it, and they need to get it done. That's the main reason for that. And then as I score, I'll put things in for you in Infinite Campus to finish out your grading. Okay? I think that's about it for grading. If you have any questions on that, make sure you send me an email. Keep checking the Infinite Campus to see where your grade's at. So this is the last week that I'm making a video. So usually, like, I'm almost treating this like the last day of school, and usually that last day of school that we have, and I get to have you in class one last time. We just kind of do a quick little closure and say goodbye because, especially for you guys, my 7th graders, the majority of you, we've had class now together for 2 years, and so it's just part of the closure for the end of the year is being able to say goodbye to people, and to let you guys know how much I've enjoyed having you. So it's been a weird year. I mean, there's no other way to really say it. I don't know if anyone could have predicted this from happening back in November, maybe even December or January, but it is the reality of where we're at. And so I don't like the way that I have to do this because I much rather see you guys in person and give you a high five, slap on the back, or whatever. Elbow bumps, I guess, is the new thing. And I'm missing that opportunity. And so even though it's not my fault, I want to apologize because that's one of the things that I like at school. I like the human interaction with you guys, and to see you guys grow from 6th graders when you came in as 6th graders in August. Not only just physically how big and how much older some of you look now at the end of 7th grade compared to when you started is amazing, but then also I think many of you have made some pretty huge leaps in terms of the way you think, the way that you go through and stay organized, work through things that are difficult, balancing schoolwork and outside stuff and all these different things. I'm really impressed with what I have seen in growth from you guys. It's been a great 2 years for you. I'm always going to remember you guys as the class of that's the class that I was able to tell you that my first child was going to be born. You guys are all very invested in him, which is really nice and wonderful. And so I will always keep updating you, or whenever you see me, feel free to ask about him because I love talking about him. And next year, no matter what kind of things happen, make sure you come in to see me so that we can, even if it's a new check-in, just to kind of feel that connection back since we didn't get that opportunity to do it here at the end of the year. If we are not back at school in the fall and we are still doing some sort of remote learning, feel free to email me, to come to office hours. Remember, we had 3/4 of a year together, plus last year for many of you. So we have a connection and a relationship already. And some of your other teachers, if you're just starting with them with remote learning, you don't have that. And so that can feel pretty isolating, right? And kind of alone, and you're not quite sure of who to go to if there's issues or if you need help, or you're just feeling isolated or lonely. Your 7th grade teachers are going to understand that. And I'm saying it, but everyone would feel the same as your 7th grade teachers. See them in office hours. Email them if you need to feel some sort of normalcy when we get back at the beginning of the year next year, if we're not back in actual physical school where you can see everyone. Okay? All right. I appreciate the work that you guys put in. I appreciate the personalities, the jokes, the laughing at my jokes. I've had a great 2 years with you guys. I've missed you these last 8 weeks. I'll miss you through the summer. And even just in normal situations, I always miss my 7th graders at the beginning of that 8th grade year because I don't get to see you every single day. And for some of you, depending on schedules, you're not even down in my area of the hallway anymore unless you're going to Mr. Singer's class. And if I'm in class or if I'm out in the hallway, I don't even see you then. So it's, sometimes I just don't get those opportunities. So I wanted you guys to know that I've really enjoyed the last 2 years. And I have great, great hopes for the things that you guys can accomplish in the future. All right. Have a great summer. Be safe. Have fun. And hopefully we'll all be back again in the fall. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon.